got Wes Golden in studio, so naturally we're tracking a little track and field and cross country before we went on the air. Talking about that young man from Western Dubuque.
Holy cow.
Nauman is his last name. I can't recall what the first name is. I think, is it Quentin?
Yeah, I just Nauman, no, but wow.
You were telling me that just recently he was one of 15 high schoolers who have gone under 4 minutes.
Yeah, for a mile.
And they had a race.
They had a race and he won.
That's incredible.
It's insane. It's just like we were talking, our kids are bigger, they're faster, they're stronger. It's, 70 years ago, there's two people on the planet who could maybe think about going under 4 minutes for a mile, and now we've got 15 high school kids who can do it. It's just incredible.
We have the privilege, of course, of covering the state track meet here at KROS in Iowa. It's amazing. I mean, all four classes, girls and boys, over 3 days. If you love track and field,
it's a place to be.
Exactly. That is amazing.
No, he's a phenomenal athlete who, has gone under, 9 minutes for a 2 mile, under 4 minutes for a mile. And we're just talking, his split was incredible, under 147-ish for the half.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is. And I think if my wife was showing me on Facebook, they were a picture of him. He works at Fairway up there in the area.
Yeah, I believe, and I may be speaking incorrectly here, but I think he's already committed to Oregon, which I know surprise.
Okay.
I may be wrong on that, but he's going somewhere. That's a fact.
Oh, no doubt. Oregon, what a place to go.
Yeah, that's the Mecca, right?
That
especially for distance running.
Yeah. My one grandson, he has a good friend who just recently ran in Oregon in the middle school competition. He got second in the 800. He's going to be a freshman, and he is under 2 minutes for the half.
For a 14-year-old to go under 2 minutes.
Pretty amazing. Yeah, exactly. We were also talking, I go by the school, and again, it's looking great, and we're going to talk more about that later in the show. But you see the kids out there, the band getting ready. When I was in school, we really didn't do much as a group. It was pretty much on your own.
Yeah, and I think that's in part what has contributed to our athletes, our students being bigger, faster, stronger. They're doing their thing all year, and likewise, when I was running cross country and track at Clinton High, we ran over the summer on our own. It was just expected you do it, and some folks might go run on their own or run with a teammate or such. But when I came back to Clinton and coached, I ran with the kids over the summer. It was just a great way to keep in touch and make sure everybody's kind of staying in the business and moving and doing their thing. But there's so many programs out there, and the camps are galore. I mean, you can go to a camp in just about anything, and kids are engaged. They're doing it. So that probably contributes to a young man going under, 9 minutes for a 2 and under 4 for a mile and so on. It's
I can
crazy.
only dream of that.
Those dreams are long gone for me.
as well as myself. So, how's the summer been going for you, Wes?
Oh, it's fast. Holy cow, we're already middle of July, and it feels like you say, the band's already, we're out there practicing, and, people are weightlifting and running and doing their thing, and the camps are out there. So it's coming quick. It's coming really quick, which is good. That's why we're here.
Something they instituted just not too long ago, the no contact week, and that's coming up next week. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's great. It is, full circle here is kids don't get a break, and families don't get a break. When you're a family of, 5 and 3 kids are actively engaged in sports or activities, that forcing folks to have at least a moment where they can plan that I'm not going to have somebody in this and somebody in that and somebody over here, and how do you find time to spend with just your family or just take a break, for crying out loud, because coaches can't even have contact with their athletes. So I think it's a great thing.
What about things getting ready for the start of another school year? Yeah,
here we go. So I've had multiple conversations today with our activities folks, and they're coming quick. So as you know, girls tennis is now in the fall. Yeah. So golf has always started pretty early. So golf and tennis start August 4th think about that's only a few weeks away. So we're already starting there. The rest of the sports start on August 11th, cross country, football, swimming, and volleyball. So August 4th, you got tennis and golf. August 1 week later, everybody else starts. And my guess is they're starting before then because they're already out there on the court playing, hitting balls back and forth and practicing. So, yeah, it's crazy. But in that line, just for everybody's knowledge, the school district is going to a new system called Bound. And you may have heard of it, but a lot of districts across the state, and it's something that our state has really kind of recommended that we do, is go to a program called Bound. And Bound is a program where it consolidates. I've had many conversations with parents and community members. We have 43,000 calendars. I'm being a bit facetious, but we have a lot of calendars. But how do we consolidate all those calendars into one? And Bound is a program that allows us to schedule all of our things in one place. So parents can get on, community members can get on Bound, they can register, and they can get notifications on their phone. Hey, what happens if that game got delayed or the venue got changed? It'll give you a notification for that. It allows parents to register their athletes. So back in, my day, you had to go into the athletic office. You had to give them to get your white card. You had to give them your physical form and all that kind of stuff. And then you got your white card, and then you had to present your white card to your coach. Was that your experience? It was my experience, and we've been doing that for decades. Well, now you can do all that through Bound. You can, as a parent, you can go in and you can submit your student's physical. You can sign them up for every sport right now. And, not right now. We're going to open it up on Monday. So, golly gee, we're getting to the 21st century. We're finally able to do all this stuff online. So it's going to be pretty cool.
Bound is something that I've been able to utilize, getting schedules for each one of the schools. And, of course, more importantly now, statistics. I mean, it was amazing. Before, I would do a baseball game in the summer, and I'd go up to the coach, who's your leading hitter or who's your top pitcher. I'd have to get it from them because there was no way of accessing what their stats are. But now I did a ball game, of course, Clinton High played up against Dubuque Waller. I was able to get the numbers for both teams.
It's all right there, and that's why it's such a comprehensive program. And I'll send out information to the community here in early August, but we're even going to a cashless ticketing system where you can go online, you can purchase your tickets ahead of time. If you've ever been to professional games often, the ticket's on your phone, you show them that and you're good. So we're going to that cashless system too. Now, it's not to say we won't take cash. Of course we will in emergency situations, and it's going to happen. But for the most part, most of us, any professional or college game I've been to in the last probably 10 or 15 years has all been online. You purchase your tickets and put it on your phone, and here we go. So yeah, we're moving into the 21st century finally. It's only taken us 25 years, but we're there.
I'll let my daughter do that for me. When we've gone to watch her son wrestle for district and different things like that, I'll just can you get that to me?
Well, it's so cool because then they can send it to you over the phone. But
I mean, it works out great because you just walk up, you show them on your phone, and you go on in.
You're in.
And it does make things so much quicker.
It does.
To get the folks into the stadium.
Yeah, into the event. So I don't know if we'll be there quite yet, but I think like Comanche uses it.
Yes.
And when we shared our drama program last fall and had a combined play, they actually had their theater on there, and you could pick your seats, and that's pretty cool. So I think that's going to be a big improvement. It's going to be a change for most, but we'll communicate that. Our ADs, our athletic directors, will share that with families, and we'll communicate like the best that we can, crazy a lot, so that people understand how it works.
I know we were recently out at Clear Creek, Amana, and everything was cashless. I mean, you went to the concession stand, and they would not take cash. I know some places concession stand will take cash.
Yeah, and we're still there. Our concession stands are run by our boosters, so if they decide to go that direction, we'll communicate that as well. Since tickets are really ours, we've decided to move in that direction. So I think right now we're not moving to a cashless system at the concession stands yet.
Visiting with Wes Golden, we'll talk about the construction at Clinton High School. Our weather update brought to you by Addington Place.
What a dramatic difference we're going to see in temperatures for your Thursday. Mostly cloudy skies. That's going to limit highs to the low to mid 70s. There will also be wildfire smoke coming back in the air today, too. Tonight, partly cloudy skies will drop into the comfortable low 60s. With your Storm Track 8 weather impact forecast, I'm meteorologist Andrew Stutzky.
Overcast skies, we're at 68 degrees. Our update brought to you by Addington Place. At Addington Place of Clinton, their all-inclusive memory care means peace of mind for families. No surprise fees, just compassionate, personalized care. They provide 24-hour nursing, daily grooming and bathing assistance, secure outdoor recreation, engaging activities, and 3 freshly prepared meals a day, all included. With a blend of holistic and science-based approaches, they support seniors living with Alzheimer's and other memory challenges in a safe, enriching environment. Call 563-219-7237 or visit addingtonplaceofclinton.com to schedule a tour. Addington Place of Clinton, where every moment matters. Visiting with Wes Golden. So I've been driving by the high school. Looks like they're making a lot of progress there in the front.
Yeah, it's so we're in the ground now, and that's the scary part because you never know what's in the ground. Over at Clinton High, we do have an underground spring that runs under there, and then there's also quite a lot of bedrock over there. So you never know what to expect. So we've got great folks who are on it, and you're starting to see probably some foundation work being done there. A lot of grading and so on. So this is phase 3, right? We're nearing the end, even though it might take us another 14 or so months to get through this. So yeah, phase 3 is the front of the building. You're going to see where the old theater was and the new academic building. There'll be a 2-story administrative suite there. So one floor will be our principals, and the second floor or the next floor will be our school counselors. And so that's where they'll be. Then coming across from east to west, there'll be a wonderfully beautiful glass facade, which will take you into the front of the building and eventually get you into the commons area, what we would call in our days the commons area. So that will take you into the front of the theater too. So where you will in the future go into our brand new, Durgan Performing Arts Center will be the theater entrance there. That's probably where we'll have in some area there the Hall of Honor plaques, and there'll be some other things that go in there. But the kitchen will stay, but we're going to remodel that kitchen too. So that's going to be a new and improved kitchen area. And then as you move closer to there'll be a few classrooms over there. That's where our art classrooms will be. So updated, brand new art classrooms, and then there'll be the entrance into your gym wellness complex. So there'll be a little bit way back in the old days where there was a horseshoe drive in front of the school.
Yes.
We'll be back to kind of a horseshoe drive with a little bit of parking in front for folks and visitors. So yeah, we're super excited. When will it be complete? Well, they say, my quote unquote, maybe, hopefully, I'm skeptical, but by next August, not this, so in about 14 months, it'll be finished. I will say, I'll go on a limb and say maybe October, November. We've done this for 5 years, so we kind of know that it usually takes a little bit longer.
It's interesting with the athletic boosters and the Candlelight Inn. I talk to a student or athlete of the month every month, and I've been visiting, from freshmen to seniors. And, I talk to the seniors as, what a tenure you have had at Clinton High School, and it's interesting. Some of them have said, well, it hasn't really been that bad. I've gotten used to it, and it's going to be great for these youngsters when they get to the school. So it's interesting their views on it.
Kids are amazingly resilient, and they go with the flow. The greater challenges usually lie within the adults because you get used to what you get used to, and if you've taught in that building for years and years and years, it's hard to adjust to that. While our students are amazing, they just adjust. Got it. Understand the need and why we do what we do. So our students have been great.
I know there have been open houses after both phases, and I would imagine when you have that open house upon the completion of phase 3. Gosh, I hope the public really comes out for that.
Yeah, I agree because it's a community school, and it's the community's efforts and support that made it happen.
Yeah, the bond referendum, my goodness.
Yeah, and it overwhelmingly passed. So that means that, and we appreciate our community support and what we do. It is their school, and we would love to show it off. And I know that when we completed phase 2 and did that open house, some of my former teachers and former students had walked through there and just in amazement, because it's such a great facility.
I know, when classes come back for their reunions, generally they're in the summer, I guess they do get tours of the building?
Yeah, we do. So, in fact, we had a gentleman, had one of his sons in class long ago, but he has a grandson at Clinton High, but he's of the class of, I think, 1970. When did you graduate?
72.
72. So the class of 70. So those folks lived through part of the fire, right? And he asked me, he's like, "Hey, Wes, could we come in and for our reunion, because we never got to have like a JV show. We never got to have our play. We never got to have, so could we just do something on the stage, like have our classmates perform?" I'm like, "Absolutely." That'd be amazing, because it was kind of, how many, 50 years, 60 years later, 55 years later, 55 years later, that they can bring that full circle. So absolutely. No, we do have quite a few class reunions who take tours, and we gladly do that.
You know what I really enjoy is the fact that now you can drive all the way around the back from one avenue to the other.
Yeah, you'll be able, and you can now.
Yes.
So where the old S-wing was, that's down, and so there'll be parking back there. You'll be able to travel all the way around the school. There'll be more parking behind the school for events, whether that's in the theater or in your gym or the football stadium. So there'll be plenty of parking. It should be way easier to access, and it's modern, so it's going to be great.
I know one of the reasons that it's taking so long is because they wanted to stay in that area with with the your gym and with the football field. So it's taken a little bit longer, but I mean, it needed to be there.
Yeah, and it was when we were kind of going through the design phase and trying to figure out what's the best way forward for a new high school. It was a pretty overwhelming commitment to the community wanted your gym and Eiton Field and the stadium to stay. What that caused, though, is, and rightfully so, it causes complexities in the build, because it's a build, tear down, build, and it just takes longer. So when I talked to Tom Woolen, our architect, I asked him one day, I was like, "Tom, tell me, what's the most complex build you've ever had for a school, and how does ours compare?" Without hesitation, he goes, like, "The most complex is yours, and compared to yours, it's yours." So it's complex. So we do, and I appreciate everybody's patience as we go along this journey together. It's not easy, and there's always a little bit of flexibility that people have to have, and they have. It's been great, and I would be remiss if I didn't say, for the board, it's been their commitment to stay within in budget, and we have been, and we've got some great, our general contractor has been fantastic. Anytime, there's something complex and we say, "Oh, how do we best solve this problem and stay within budget?" they always look for those solutions. So
again, visiting with Wes Golden. Well, the next time we have you in, it'll be the third Thursday in August.
Yeah.
And we're going to be knocking on the door to another school year. It will be your second year as superintendent. How do you think it may be different from that first year?
Well, I think, that first year, folks are getting used to me and what my expectations are. They're trying to understand what my vision is, and going forward, I think next year we can add and grow upon that, and move forward in that direction. I feel like, I've been in the community for so long. I've grown up here and been part of it, and so many people know me, and I appreciate any and all who come to me and share their celebrations and their challenges, so that I can best guide our district in a direction that best meets the needs of our community. I'm a firm believer. I'm a steward of the organization. I'm a caretaker, because I know it's not mine, it's ours. And I look forward to one day when I get to retire and passing the mantle of responsibility on to another person, that I've given them something better than I received, and I received it in a great great place already.
Always enjoy visiting with you, but last program you had Dan Boyd
Yeah.
and Brian Kenny come in your place. I enjoyed visiting with them.
Yeah, wow, think about the numbers of years of experience between them. You know, I think Dan had 42 years of total experience, and I think 39 of them were in Clinton. You know, Brian had over 20 years in Clinton, and well over 30 some in his whole career. And it's tough to replace that kind of experience and knowledge. But I'm so excited for both of them as they, journey into the next chapter of their life. They made a difference here.
You know, Brian brought up something that I thought was pretty funny, because he was at the grade school level and the middle school level.
He's done it all.
And I asked him, what was the difference? And he said, puberty.
That's a fact. Yeah. Middle school students are a whole different, breed of student, and you have to be special to work through that. Yeah, that's a fact.
And you primarily high school, right?
Yeah, I taught all high school. So 22 years of my career, I taught only at the high school. I student taught long ago in the middle school level and high school level, but I've elementary is completely foreign to me, and I tell you, and I mean this with the bottom of my heart, with all the energy I can, our elementary teachers are amazing, and what they have to do in a day, like me, I teach physics, and I'm going to teach physics 3 times, and I'm going to maybe teach astronomy, and I'm going to teach physics, but they're teaching, math, science, social studies, language arts. They're being the mom, they're fixing knees that have been scraped, and the kid who misses mom, and holy cow, I subbed once in a first grade classroom. My sister teaches first grade, and I walked out of there like, how are you people not just dead tired every day? And so elementary is a special place to me because that's where those relationships are built. It's awesome.
Well, as always, appreciate the time. We'll catch up with you in August. Enjoy your summer.
Thank you, sir. You too.